In today's video, I'm trying out Golgari Lifegain, a deck that I've actually had on my plate for quite a long time and just never really got around to it. Heroic Feast is a new card from Marvel Superheroes that really intrigued me. 3 CMC enchantment, when it enters, create a food. Then, whenever you gain life, choose up to that many target creatures you control, then put a +1/+1 counter on each of those creatures. So let's say we gain 3 life, we can choose 3 creatures, distribute +1/+1 to each of those 3 creatures, and that's just a really nice way to spread a whole bunch of power amongst a nice wide board. The other new card from Marvel Superheroes is Tigra, Feline Fury, Flash, and Trample on an Ajani's Pridemate. Seems pretty good in my book. And then, of course, putting a +1/+1 counter on Tigra every time we gain life. The rest of the deck is things that gain us life or just really good utility cards. And then the only other card that I really want to mention in the deck before we jump into some games is Mozio. Mozio is going to be a really good one for bringing back some of these creatures that are likely to die. Things like Deep Cavern Bat, Scheming Silver Tongue, and Michelangelo are all cards that have big crosshairs on their backs. So if we gain a little bit of life, we'll be able to bring these back with Mozio's Infusion ability. At the beginning of your end step, if you gain life this turn, return up to 1 target creature card with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, where X is the amount of life that you gained. It's not going to be uncommon for us to gain 2 or 3 life each turn, so we should be able to bring back a whole bunch of stuff with Mozio. And so that's the deck. We're going to try it out. I haven't played a whole lot of black decks in the last several weeks, so this is my attempt at finally trying to play something with some black cards in it. But I'm not really sure how this one's going to go. I think we're mostly doing like an against the odds kind of situation with this one, but hey, maybe we'll get lucky. Anyways, let's jump into some games and see how this one plays out. See you over there. All right, seeing if we can get some life gain going on. Also, the observant among you will notice that I am at 98%. I have dropped quite a bit in rank, and it turns out, I don't know if y'all are aware of this, but if you are not playing the sweaty meta decks, it's hard around here. It's things get real tough real fast, and I've been playing some questionable things, to say the least. We got ourselves a spring-loaded Sawblade Gamer, which means that I can't really attack in. So probably we take their Repurposing Bay. Our opponent is very impatient. Let's blow them a kiss. Boom, boom. No attack from that. Yamada, cool your jets, my friend. We're making decisions over here. So they're holding up the Sawblades, of course. Why wouldn't they hold up the Sawblades? So I guess what we do is we just put the Tigra onto the field and hope that they don't find a white source or a Starcage Pinnacle so that they can absolutely wipe us out. Now, they are sitting there holding up their mana because they have to sit there with the Sawblades. So that's some good news. And we do get the Professor Delian Fell to eventually come out now. We will get it onto the field now, and once we get that onto the field, it's going to grow pretty quickly. So this is actually not the worst case scenario for us, right? We also gain 3 life, fell up to 7, so we might be able to emblem Fell. Are we? Is that what we're doing? You get an emblem whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life? Oh, come on. So oh. What happened there? Did they snap? Oh, yeah. I don't know. A little bit fun. So let's do Michelangelo. Michelangelo gains us a little bit of life and puts a few counters onto Tigra. I guess maybe what I should have done is probably emblem first. Are we embleming? Yeah, let's emblem. We are gaining life. So let's do that. I should have done it beforehand. It's fine. I might live to regret it, but I think it's fine. And so now they're going to tap down Tigra, right? No. I'm surprised they didn't use the Cryogen Relic to keep Tigra under control there. I'm going to put this in untapped as well, just so it gives me the option of using the Witherbloom Charm if disaster happens, Repurposing Bay. So they can now wipe our board. Yeah. So we are probably going to be sacrificing something with the Witherbloom Charm. Wow, they grabbed Pinnacle Star Cage. Very creative. Yeah, I would rather draw cards, right? Okay, we'll use this. We'll get rid of the Mikey because I can bring back something. I'd rather bring back a Michelangelo, I think. And we didn't really draw very well. Gain life? Okay, this kind of means that the opponent needs to deal with Professor Fell before they can do anything else. Let's put the what is it called? Lumarent onto the field. And do I want to... that's gain 5 life, right? Okay, put this in tapped. Fine. We'll see. Maybe we can use this to just drain them down. Deal 5 damage. They're using this to get a Perilous Snare for our Professor Fell. So Fell option is now off the table. Okay, something good. We need a good draw. Yep. Yep. Oh yeah, right. I don't know why I thought I could attack it. I knew they had that, right? Duh. Okay. So Heroic Feast is not bad. Heroic Feast gives me a food token. I'm going to put this in untap so that I can at the very least crack the food token to gain 3 life. Oh man, I shouldn't have attacked in with the thing. I was just being a bonehead. What do you grab now? Probably the synthesizer? Yep. Surely a life gain deck should be able to find more life gain than we are finding, right? 1 top, 1 bottom from the opponent and a cryogen relic. So they're not making robots yet, but it's possible that we could die like next turn. Okay, what? Torpor Orb? That's not good news. That's not good news at all. Do I want to crack the... No, I don't want to crack the land or the food yet. Good. Mozio's good. Yep. And the problem is, though, I cannot put out my pest mascot. I just need to do it now. Okay. 3 damage to the dome. We get to put a +1/+1 on to Mozio. And Mozio is going to bring back... Who? The What is it called? The Bogwater Lumarit? I suppose is what it is. Although, okay, when this creature or another creature you control enters, you gain 1 life. Why didn't we gain a... Oh, yeah. Torpor Orb. Torpor Orb is a big problem. Imagine running into Torpor Orb right now, right? Maybe I guess I should have grabbed... I guess it doesn't matter. Michelangelo doesn't make the thing. So what do we need? We need another Heroic Feast. Another Heroic Feast off the top actually gets me there. Okay. Repurposing Bay. Oh, oops. Wow, look at this opponent. Oops. Look at this guy. Okay, so we can kill 1. And we can block 1. Do we got to block 2? We got to block 2. We go down to 26, or we go down by 26 down to 1. So we have our opportunity now. If we draw a Heroic Feast, Yamada, you got me. All right. Well, we fought a pretty good fight there. I don't know. That one was a pretty messy one. Our deck had the opportunity in that last game to make something happen, and it just let us down at the end. Do you ever get that way? Like, sometimes your decks are just running so you throw away the yeah, okay. Your decks are running so beautifully, and you feel like you're a god. And then there are other times when that bad variance starts hitting you, and you just feel like you can't do anything. That's kind of how the last... Oh, I don't know. 48 hours of playing this game has felt to me. It has felt so bad. All right, so we take the Seam Rip, and then that throws them off of a turn. If we take the Skyward Spider, shouldn't have thrown away the removal. We're so in trouble against this opponent, right? So what do you take? I guess you take the Seam Rip because the Seam Rip's gonna eat your Deep Cavern Bat, and this way at least we can start growing our Tigra. But it's so bad. Oh yeah, I guess that has reach. Okie dokie. Well, do we just put in Tigra? Yeah, I don't know. Why'd I put it in, not flashed? I don't know. I'm tilting out. Maybe that's, and you know what? You kind of blame bad variants. You're like, oh, I can't get anything to work for me. But you know what? Sometimes tilt is a real thing, and maybe you're just playing like trash, and that could be the case. Mix that with playing somewhat questionable decks, and it really, really sets you up to think like this game is absolute garbage. Now, if the opponent drew a Shelter by Ghost in these two cards, I might lose. I might flip my lid. All right. Attack in with the spider. No. Why would you? Well, we can go in with the Professor Fell and kill the spider now. That doesn't seem like such a bad idea to me. Kill this before they get the opportunity to do the... Do we just give up our Professor Fell? Like, we're not going to protect Fell no matter what, right? I'm not going to put Tigra in front of the double striking Skyward Spider, but if Fell absorbs, you know, 4 or 6 points of damage, whatever it's going to be from this Skyward Spider, I think that's okay. Sure. Or do they go face? Imagine they go face here. I mean, I wouldn't hate the idea if I were the opponent. Nah, you got to take out Professor. Okie doke. So we still get to attack in with both of our creatures next turn. We get ourselves a little bit of a race. We get to grow the Tigra a little bit with the... Man, really? Really, deck? Is that what we're doing here? We're going to be putting nothing but bog water. Oh, man. So do you challenge the Optimistic Scavenger? Heck yeah. If they want to trade Optimistic Scavenger and a Shard Mage's Rescue for Tigra, I think I'm okay with it. Get a little bit bigger, girl. There you go. And we need like not a land. What, a Heroic Feast. So they grab the Deep Cavern Bat. There you go. They grab. That was such a good draw for them, man. Now their Skyward Spider, well, it's already out of control, and their Optimistic Scavenger is going to be a beast on the ground. So I'm not even going to be able to get in with the Bog Water, which is my only creature that's left. And I'm going to draw. I know I'm going to draw a land because that's just the way it's been going. How do you stay positive when it gets this way, though? Sure, attack in for 9. Sure. You're going to push a little bit more? No. Okay. So we're going to see one more draw. It's a land. I concede. I insta-scoop. I can't even click the button. Man, it's bad running all over the place here. I don't know. So when it's like this, you just don't even want to play the game, I think. That's kind of where I'm at with oh man. Again, I've been playing. I've talked about it so many times. It happens without fail about a week or two before, you know, new set releases start to come out, because like you run through the capable decks and you're like, well, I can't keep playing the same stuff. How many Slickshot Show Off decks am I going to play? So then you start doing other stuff, and then you just set yourself up for absolute failure, because you end up just playing stuff that's not good enough, and you just get crushed. You get crushed every single time. That's cool though. Hey, Leader's Talent, pretty neat. I mean, I don't like it because the opponent is very clearly smashing my face in, but the good news is they might be incentivized to put out one of these Ajani's Pridemates next turn, and we do have the Professor Fell to come in and snipe it out. Although, okay, they're just going right up. Whenever you cast a spell, put a +1/+1 counter on this thing, sure. So, do I just kill the Runelurker Bat at this point now? I think so. Sure.
Follow my instructions, and you might survive.
If it had counters, you gain a couple of life, sure. we get to get in and also gain a little bit of life ourselves, go back up to 14. We don't get any benefit from Mozio's infusion ability, but next turn we can start getting the Tigra on the field, growing that a little bit. But this thing's neat. Whenever you cast a spell, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Like, I can't get rid of this thing either. I don't have any enchantment destruction. So they're going to get a couple of big Ajani's Pridemates. And that's bad news. Ooh, Heroic Feast is kind of cool. So what do I do? Do I do Tigra plus... I think I do Tigra and I attack. Right? So I do like this. We get that. We do plus with Professor Fell. And we get to put a bunch of +1/+1 counters on things. I do get to attack in with a good 3/3, whatever this thing is, because when it attacks, it's going to gain me life. And that means it's going to trigger the Heroic Feast, so it goes up to a 3/3 if they want to challenge my... whatever this creature's called, Pest. And we gain more life. Tigra keeps getting bigger. You know what? Let's put a couple of counters on Tigra. And let's put a couple of counters on Mozio. Okay. I mean, this is kind of working. This is neat. Joe the Dumber over there playing something really cool. Authority is good because it pumps their Ajanis, but they can't really attack in. I say. I will trade that all day because Mozio's just going to bring back my Tigra. Right? Now their Ajani's Pridemate is going to get big, but the thing is, I can just do that. Right? That's cool. So it can work. It does work. And we were going to crack the food as well. Put +3 power on the board. Get Tigra back. Of course, they gain a little bit of life with the authority, but they're down to no cards in hand. And okay. It took us going up against somebody playing off meta to finally find a win, but that's the situation. All right. We don't like opening up with losses, but it's fine. Now the deck proving that maybe it can do something. Hey, we got a nice 1-2-3 this time around. We can maybe go with the Pest Mascot. This is a card that's probably not good enough for standard, but why not try it? Why not try it? Ooh, a Quicksilver on turn 1. The next deck, I need to spend a little bit of time doing it, but I really want to take a look at Boros Heroes. I feel like there's a Boros Heroes deck somewhere. Eee, that's not bad either. So, Virulent Emissary, we are a life gain deck, so we could, in theory, gain enough life to get outside of the mono-red aggro's game plan. But they went first. They had a really good 1-2 here on turn 1. turn 1. And, of course, they're coming in for 2 more damage. It's not the biggest problem. So what are we going to put? We're going to put it on a 2-2. Try to gain a little bit of life. It would be nice if they left my Emissary alone. Please leave my Emissary alone. Because I really need to have things on the field that gain me life. Nope. Okay. So... but they're on 1 land. Well... I mean, I guess, yeah, we put this out and we gain some life. Sure. Back up to 18. Okay, they found their land. Hopefully they don't have a lightning strike. It's kind of feeling... They're eyeing up my Bogwater. Please leave my Bogwater boy alone. Isn't he... He's adorable. You should not lightning strike the Bogwater thing. Okay, that's fine. I'm fine with a Bolt Wave because Bolt Wave does not... Wow. Bolt Wave... with Burnout Bastronaut is a big old problem, actually. Uh-oh. We might be a little bit too slow here. So we put the Forest on the field. I really want to get my Mascot on the field as a 3/4. I gain 1 life, go up to 14, and then next turn we can... What can we do next turn? Put out the Virulent Emissary with the Michelangelo. And then on the following turn, if we draw our 5th land, we go Heroic Feast plus crack the food. Maybe there's something there. Also, if Michelangelo is on the field giving +1, extra +1/+1 counters to things, could be good. They are down to... Okay. Coming in with the Burnout Bastronaut with Double Strike, Trample, Menace. It's a terror. This thing, by the way, not rotating out. This thing is going to be all over my videos in February. Get ready for that. It's going to be the Slick Shot Show Off show is done. It's going to be the Burnout Bastronaut Bonanza. We'll go with that. Now we could put both of these creatures in front of it, and they would have to make the choice of killing the Bogwater or the Pest, assuming they don't have a giant pump spell. Now, if they have the mini pump spell, they can kill, like, they just use the 2 mana here. They can kill my mascot. I think I just take this 4 or 6 damage. 6 damage. I'm kind of fine with it. I'm fine with it, especially now that I drew that. So let's maximize life gain with the Virulent Emissary first. And we put the Michelangelo onto the field. More life gain. We go back up to 11. And we now have a giant pest mascot with the Requiting Hex as backup. We do want to see a land soon, though. If I can get the Heroic Feast cracked, putting +6, it would be putting +6 power on the board with the Michelangelo, assuming Michelangelo survives. Ancestral Anger. Well, we're going to take the opportunity to do this. We are going to Wither, because we may as well Wither, because we gain the life and it starts putting the +1/+1 things on things anyways. So we deny their draw with the Ancestral Anger, leave them at 1 mountain for the turn, 1 card in hand. We have a Heroic Feast, which is great. Worst case scenario, we put out Heroic Feast and we crack the Mutagen. It's a land. Okay. This has to be enough to seal it, right? Because this is just so much power that we're distributing. That's huge. And I actually feel pretty confident to be able to attack in with the Pest Mascot. Hold back the 4/4, 3/3 blockers. It should be fine. We're at 16 life now. We can pump up something a little bit more with the Mutagen token next turn. They're at 4 mana. That's not great for them. If they just attack in and use this mana to buff up their higher claws, like, this is just over for them. Is there even... There's no reason to even block, right? There's no reason. Ooh, okay, life gain. Life gain proving, of course, against mono red. What a favorable matchup for us. And we needed that. We desperately needed that. Well, let's hope it keeps rolling this way, because I don't know how much more my soul can take. Okay, you know, we have turn 1 Llanowar Elf. That's never a bad thing, right? And then we can go into a little bit of disruption with the Deep Cavern Bat, see what we're dealing with. Man, I really want this card to be good. Scheming Silvertongue. It never is, but I really, really want it to be good. All right, Deep Cavern Bat, I think, over replaying the Llanowar Elf. And they have... What is this? What does it matter? What does it really matter? Okay, Deep Cavern Bat, not long for this world. They just snap play the Momentum Breaker. And we need land. Land, please. Okay. Good news. They can... I assume that they're probably going to try to hit my Llanowar Elf with the No More Lies. Or Nowhere to Run. That's what it's called. And I think I'm okay with it, because we can still flash in the Tigra at the very least. Stormchaser's Talent? Sure. What we'd like to see probably off the top here is a land. Untapped land, please. Untapped land. Okay, thank you. You always have to specify exactly what you want to see in this game, because this game is never ever actually going to give you what you want. So you have to speak very clearly. Now, the opponent still does have very good interaction. They have the Flood Pitch Drowner sitting here that they tap down something and then send it into our library. And they also have the Boomerang Basic. But the Boomerang Basic is not going to be a great card for them to use on our creatures, I think, because it just gives us an opportunity to re-trigger things. The Nowhere to Run, definitely going to be a better choice. Now, do they take out the Scheming Silvertongue or the Tigra? Please, Tigra. Tigra gets out of control. She's terrifying. They might look at that and be like, yeah, I got to get this before it grows even more. So they attack in. I'm not blocking because they just flash in the nowhere to run. It goes up to a 3/3. Scheming Silver Tongue would then die. I think you take out the Scheming Silver Tongue though because it's representing draw. But maybe they're not thinking that way. Let's hope they're okay. So we snap off this. We snap off the Sign in Blood. 100%. Okay. And then we go to combat. And they might flash in the deep, the Drowner at this point. Okay, let's just go in with these two. I hope they take out Tigra. That's what I'm hoping. Right now. Please take out Tigra right now. Nowhere to run on Tigra. I did not expect that. Okay. Huh. And unfortunately, I cannot cast, because my mana base is a little bit weird right now with the Verges, I can't cast the Witherbloom Charm. It's not so bad still. Like, we're getting in for some amount of damage still. And we do have the backup Tigra. So, yeah, it's fine. It could have gone a lot better, but if I could have just, like, gained 5 life there, that could have been cool. Okay, Stormchaser's Talent pumping up their Otter. What do we want to see? We got 5 mana. I don't think I want to see, like, any more lands, actually. So they attack in. That's fine. We take the 2. And they're very careful with this Nowhere to Run and this Flood Pitch Runner. I think I'm just going to flash in the Tigra. If they want to, again, use the Nowhere to Run to hit Scheming Silver Tongue this time around. No, I'm surprised by that. Very surprised by that. Well, I can use this to gain 5 life. Maybe I should have put the Pest onto the field. When does this trigger, actually? At the beginning of your second main phase. Okay, I did do that kind of properly. Because I do want to draw cards. Michelangelo's good. Let's get Mikey on the field. Sure. Okay, opponent. We now have a Tigra. We're going to have a pretty good Pest mascot coming down later. Again, we've drawn a lot of lands. I don't want to see... Like, when I said I didn't want any more lands, we still drew 2 more lands on top of that. Thankfully, the opponent is sitting there on 4 lands. They have not been as fortunate to draw lands as we have. Well, I say that. And then they have the Courtyard. So they're sitting on Courtyard plus Flood Pitch Drowner. But we have the map tokens now that we can crack. Which means that... Really? Really, game? Okay, let's load up Mikey. Virulent Emissary is not bad, right? But it's not good enough. Now that I think about it, because what I put out... I'm going to put out the Pest Mascot this turn. And Pest Mascot also not good enough this time around? I don't know. Maybe I don't even know what I'm digging for at this point. They're going to flash in the Flood Pitch Drowner, probably tap down the Michelangelo, and then maybe shuffle that away? Or do they tap down the Trampling Tigra? Trampling Tigra may be a little bit more threatening, right? Mikey. That makes sense. Okay, we still get in for 4. And they do have the option of bouncing something, because they can Stormchaser's Talent, get back a Boomerang Basics. They do have 5 mana available to do that. And it looks like that's what they're doing. Their mana base tapped. Their mana tapped badly. Oh, lordy. Oh, no. It's a disaster. It's a we got to hit them with the lands. Am I right? Oh, I got it in there. You hate to see it, because I've been on Discord calls with friends and been like, auto tapper, and like screaming, usually with more explicit language, expletives. But that's exactly what happened there. The auto tapper decided they didn't need blue mana. Wow. Okay, things are getting better, I guess is what I can say. The games have been some kind of good back and forth, I will say. Okay, so we got Mikey and the pest mascot. We don't have any ways of really gaining life outside of the, well, we got those two things. We don't have our fast stuff. I'm gonna try it though. It looks like it's a decent enough hand. These verges though, now that I'm looking at it, are going to cause me endless amounts of trouble. I'm guaranteeing that. If I don't find a forest or a swamp, I'm gonna be in trouble. But we did find the bog water against a mono red opponent. Unfortunately, mono red player going first, as is tradition on, well, that's okay. We found that. As is the way it is, the mono red player has to go first. We are going to take this opportunity to get rid of the Emberheart Challenger. I don't want them triggering Valiant. Maybe it's a little bit aggressive for us just to fire it off like that. Maybe they could have tried to pump up something, but then they still get the Valiant trigger. I just don't want to deal with that. Sure, I guess we're dealing with it. The opponent says, "Nah, this is what we're doing." We're down to 10, feeling cozy. So do I put out the heroic? If I put out the heroic feast, that means next turn I can have a little bit of a better turn. Yeah, I think it is the heroic feast, but I have to hope they don't kill me. If they kill me, they kill me. I guess that's all the situation is. Next turn, we can go Verge into Bogwater into Mikey, and that'll allow me to actually build a little bit of a board. The problem is this Burnout Bastion is going to be getting Double Strike. It might get Double Strike right now. Yeah. So that's bad. If they have a Bolt Wave, we die. If they have, and honestly, anything, if they just sneeze at us, we die. They did miss 2 points of damage here, but I think it's probably all right. We were a little bit slow. We did basically nothing. The opponent cast how many spells? 6 spells. We cast 2. I guess that's just what happens when you go second against mono red. Man with a Stick. I feel like Man with a Stick was in my video. What video did I record? Maybe Rabbits? I'm not sure who. I remember this name though. I've been seeing a lot of familiar names lately, and I don't know if that's because of my MMR or because fewer people are playing this game. I don't really know why, but something. Yeah, why did I do that? I don't know. It's fine. I keep forgetting that Tigra has Flash. So I just kind of throw it onto the field, and I don't really think too carefully. But I should be thinking more carefully. I'm going to get punished for it. Who are you going after? Nobody? Interesting. Well, then do we go... I think we go with the Bogwater, because then if they kill the Tigra, we can do Mozio on the following turn. And now Tigra is up to a 5-4. A 5-4 is a little bit harder. Ooh, they're on lessons. So they could still have Iroh's Demonstration. That's 4 damage to our Tigra. That would be bad. But with, yeah, Iroh's Demonstration. Mozio brings back Tigra, right? Yeah, Mozio brings back Tigra. No problem. We get in for another 3 points of damage. We bring back the girl. The girl's going to grow up to a 4-3. That's okay. Man, this card's such a cool card. Not only does it look rad, the token looks rad, and it has a very cool ability. There, Accumulate Wisdom. Using Accumulate Wisdom for 1. Draw. Oh, man, you love it. Sorry, Man with a Stick. Good to see you again, though. Okay, we're going to try to get as many games in as I can. My camera battery's at 16%. I keep looking up at it. I'm like, that's this ticking away. Okay, so we have a turn to play into not a whole lot. But we also do have the removal with the... Okay, whatever. Like I said, 16%. 15% now. We do not have enough battery to debate whether or not I should be keeping these hands. Thank goodness for Llanowar Elf. What a great turn 1 draw. And next turn, we're going to draw land, and we're going to draw another land on the next turn after that. We're going to be hunky-dory. Everything's going to go super well. I love the opponent. The opponent has 4 tiny bones on the field. Count them. 1, 2, 3, and 4. My friend, you are kind of cool. Just kind of, though. Do we put the mascot onto the field now and then start gaining life with it on the next turn? So next turn, what we can do is Bogwater plus Michelangelo, and that starts accumulating life. Yeah, that's the right word I'm saying. We start gaining life. Okay, shoot the sheriff. Fine. Mozio brings it back eventually. Okay, please don't steal it. I didn't think they'd steal it. That's underhanded. This is still fine. Let's put out the Bogwater and then the Deep Cavern Bat, because this is going to help us on the following turn to when we put out the big boy. Unstoppable Slasher is a problem. Which one's worse, Unstoppable Slasher or Unholy Annex? I don't know what I hate more. Unholy Annex is probably worse, because if I put out the Mozio, I can start like chump blocking with stuff and just like constantly bringing it back. Land off the top next turn is really good. We are still able to bring back the Pest Mascot, assuming that they just throw down the Unstoppable Slasher this turn. Okay, corpses. That's cool. Okay. I mean, it's not cool because that's a lot of damage that's coming out in my face, but I'm taking all of it. I guess it's better than getting hit with an Unstoppable Slasher, and they cannot eat my Pest Mascot. Stop targeting it at Tiny Bones. Leave it alone. Okay, we didn't find our land, but it's still kind of okay because we're still gaining 3 life here. I only attacking with this one, okay. And Mozio brings back the Pest Mascot. That's going to trigger again. It starts growing. And we actually have a pretty good blocker now with this Pest Mascot. Wow, hard to say. And I feel like the tide has turned ever so slightly now for us. We are going to be taking a little bit of damage here. Do I want to give them back the Corpses of the Lost? So if I block here, yes. Because I want something to bring back with Mozio. Yeah, that's fine. Corpses of the Lost, back to your hand. It's okay. It's okay. It doesn't affect me. I think I go... Oh, no, it did affect me a little bit. Because I needed that mana. So do I go with this thing first? Or do I go with Michelangelo first? I think I go Michelangelo first. Start doubling up on the Pest Mascot triggers. This is going to attack in. Mozio attacks in because I'm never ever blocking with either of these creatures. And we do have this Unstoppable Slasher that I need to deal with. But I'm kind of fine putting probably Michelangelo in front of it. I'm not really sure. Something's going to go in front of that thing, though. Okay, 5th land for the opponent. So they only have Unstoppable Slasher and Corpses. I think we're fine. We can actually just take a hit. It's not a big deal, right? And now I have the Requiting Hex. Do I care? I may as well put Michelangelo in front of something, right? I may as well. It's not such a big deal. And I think I just take the 5 damage instead of using the Requiting Hex, and they're dead? I mean, this is just a tremendous amount of damage that I have in hand, right? Or like on the field. What? Yeah. Okay, cool. GG opponent. Blood Orange. The cool deck. I like seeing, obviously, Skeletons. Skeletons is awesome. But what's a little bit cooler is Skeletons running with all the cool Tiny Bones cards. You like to see that. Ooh. Hey, we're back into numbers. Well, I suppose that's probably enough. I don't want to push the camera's battery too much. I forgot to charge it. I thought it was going to charge faster is what the situation was. Doesn't matter. still low. We got a good 8 games in. A couple of them a little bit rough off the hop, but then the deck actually did start functioning. And you know what? Things are pretty neat. I kind of like what's going on with this deck. I have a big soft spot for this card now. Ever since I've kind of seen it functioning a little bit more and more, Mozio has just constantly impressed me, and it's a card that I want to run in more decks. Also, Tigra and the Pest Mascot both having Trample when you're gaining a whole bunch of life. You know, like the Ajani's Pridemate problem is that it's a big creature that just gets chump blocked by a 1/1, and then what do, right? You just have to deal with that. But in this kind of situation, we are putting +1/+1 counters on a whole bunch of stuff, going a little bit wide, but we're also going tall with Trample, and that makes a bit of a difference. Also, really good interaction in the deck with the Requiting Hex, the Witherbloom Charm, Professor Delian Fell. I kind of wish I had something that was maybe a little bit more definitive removal, like a Shoot the Sheriff, something like that. But overall, it's kind of cool. The Heroic Feast also, when it hits the field and you're not just immediately dead to like a mono red opponent, this thing's kind of awesome, especially if you have a Michelangelo on the field. You know, cracking a food for 2 mana and being able to distribute 6 power from that, gain 3 life, distribute 6 power, is kind of insane. So the ceiling for this card is very high. The problem is the floor is so unbearably low that if you end up taking a turn to play it out in best of 1, you might just die. So it's one of these cards that just has such a big range of whether or not it's going to be useful or detrimental to you in a game. I think probably, like, obviously life gain strategies are not S tier by any means, but it is still, we're more asking, is it playable? If you brought this onto the ladder, are you going to be able to confidently climb with it? Because I think I see a lot of people start with life gain, they start playing their Ajani's Pridemate decks, and then they kind of say like, oh my god, this deck just dies to everything, or I can't win any games with this. It seems to be a new player problem because new players are so attracted to the life gain thing, but then they just get absolutely slammed down because life gain's just, it's kind of mid. But maybe going this way, once this is tuned up a little bit further, there could be maybe a little bit more resilience to the deck. But also, we just got absolutely destroyed in some games, so I don't know. Overall, it's going to be life gain at the end of the day, and take that for what it is. But we got to see some new cards being played, and that's what mattered. So yeah, neat one. Let me know what you think about Golgari Lifegain. Let me know what you think about the state of black cards, because I'm telling you, I keep looking for decks that are playing black that are not Kavaro superior Spider-Man decks, or are not Unholy Annex Demon decks, and they don't exist. I don't see them. I don't know what's going on with that color pairing, but everything that I see on the ladder is honestly white based. Tons. Maybe it's just what I'm attracted to. I don't know how this sounds. I know how it sounds. Don't take it out of context. You know what I'm saying. I think white based decks are great. because cards like I'm scrambling. I've deleted so many decks. Cards like, oh no, I'm scrambling now. I don't have it. Practiced Offense. How do you not love Practiced Offense? Like, it's such a great card. I don't have it right now. So any deck that's going wide with oh no, it's not here. This card at the backup is just gonna be absolutely fantastic in my book. You know what I'm gonna do for the next video? Maybe what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna play with an Orzhov deck. I'm gonna mix together the best of both worlds. I'm gonna get the Practice Offense white cards in with a bunch of black cards. Maybe we'll play some Deep Cavern Bat, Momo, and make myself look even worse trying to scramble around whatever I'm saying here. That's it for this one. I hope you enjoyed this video, and Golgari Lifegain. Take care for now. Enjoy your wonderful weekends. Let me know, again, what you think about the state of Standard, and if you have any deck recommendations, love to hear them down in the comments. Otherwise, sarang ipana, and I will catch all of you in the next one. Bye-bye.